What up? It is Bones, and in this one, we're gonna open up my newest figure for my McFarlane DC Multiverse collection. Now, this will be the armored Azrael based on the White Knight comic book series. I've really been anticipating opening this one up. I think you can't really appreciate it completely until you actually get it out of the package and get it in your hands and touch it and play around with it. Plus, I had some ideas of things I wanted to do with it, so I'm really anticipating opening it up. So, of course, once you open it up, you do get your basic black McFarlane DC stand. You also get the data file card. On the front, you have a pretty cool image of Azrael taking it to the White Knight Batman. And then on the back, you have some information about Jean-Paul Vallée, who is Azrael. The accessories he comes with is only one, and that is the Christ sword, which is pretty much the same as the one that came with the earlier Azrael release. Now, the only thing that I did want to do was that I knew that they didn't supply one of these flame effects that came with the original release, but I did want him to have one for his sword, since it is portrayed in the comics that he has one. So what I ended up doing was I purchased another Azrael, but I did get him on sale at Walmart, which was like $15, so it wasn't a big deal. But then I did see some images where in the comic series, you do have the original image where he just has his flame sword. Pretty awesome, cool figure as well. But then there is another image where he actually has like a machine gun. And I always thought that was pretty cool. So since he's not really going to be holding his sword, I went ahead and built him a pretty cool scabbard. I actually got this from my fodder box, and then I just went ahead and painted it to match his costume. But the sword actually does like slide right in there. It doesn't go all the way in. It shows the hilt, which is fine. I actually like it better that way. But he could put his sword in and then hold his gun at the same time. Now, I did add a little bit of paint to this gun just to pretty it up, and it pretty much matches the image that is in the comic of the White Knight. So that was pretty fun. It was just a little extra thing I could do to get the flame effect for the armored Azrael. And I usually buy one figure to keep it the way it is, unchanged, and then I buy one to customize. So it was worth it. Pretty happy with the way this came out. So like how the scabbard came out and everything. So it's pretty cool. These will be going up. I'm gonna start breaking up my McFarlane shelf in sections, which will be like the basic Bat family. Then you have the armors, and then you have the Dark Knight medals, and then you'll have like a Arkham little section, and then the White Knight section, and then the Rebirth. So it's gonna be pretty cool. It's really filling up. The shelf's really filling up, so pretty cool. Now let's take a look at the armored Azrael once you get him out of the package. Pretty hefty figure, pretty big. Like, I knew what would happen is that once you get him out and he could spread out his arms and his cape opens up, pretty awesome looking figure. Now, This armor is based on the old school Nightfall armor. He does have the pockets on his thigh, the pouches, and he has pouches all around. The only difference is the color scheme. I mean, this is just black with hints of gold and silver, where the original one had like yellow and silver. But pretty cool rendition. The idea for this is really awesome. Really beautiful sculpt. Like the whole figure is just like a whole complete new sculpt, and it's just looks pretty awesome. I've heard some people complain about the thinness in the ankles, but I like it. I don't care. He stands right up, and he's a pretty beautiful figure to be going up on the shelf. So I'm happy with him. Let's take a look at him. Now, he does have like an armored head. Way different mask than from the original version. Some red eyes, pretty cool. The head actually does look up pretty good and down a lot, so that's pretty cool. A lot of sculpting in this. I mean, it's pretty awesome. As you go down, you get like that golden bat symbol, and then like I say, there's so much texturing in here, like on his ribs and on the pouches, on his abs. Just beautiful sculpt work. Just look at the details. You can see all the lines in there. Pretty much a lot of added creases and stuff, which look pretty cool. Pretty awesome. When you first see these shoulder pads, you might think that they'd obstruct the articulation, but they actually move pretty well. They're not connected. They're like on a ball joint, so they move around. So when you lift up the arm, the shoulder pad moves with it. He has pretty good butterfly joints on the shoulders, on both arms. You could open up his arms wide, lift them up. Pretty cool. Then you go down to his elbows. He does have single jointed elbows, but they do go out pretty straight and then bend almost to a 45. Little missing a little bit. Like I say, these figures are more just for posing and putting up on the shelf. So it's not a big deal to me that it doesn't have double jointed elbows. I still really enjoy the figure. The gauntlets are pretty cool, man. The spikes are just beautifully sculpted. They're sharp. There's a lot of details on the gauntlets. Going down to his hands, he has those typical McFarlane ball swivel joints, but these don't stick out as much because it's all black, so you can't really see it that good, but you do get some pretty cool wrist articulation. And then the claws are just sculpted beautifully on this figure. Awesome. Going down to the legs, of course, you see these pretty cool pockets around his thigh, which is, like I say, a throwback to the old Nightfall armored Azrael. But the detail work continues on the legs with the line work and the sculpting. He does have double jointed knees. You can bend pretty good. Pretty smoothly bend, even though it's tight joints, but you could hear the ratcheting system inside. And as you move down, he does have ankle articulation for the ball with the McFarlane ball joint. If you wanted to get some ankle rocker, you just have to hold the ball and swivel it. And of course, he does have toe articulation. Going down to the bottom, checking out below his feet, he has some pretty cool tread. Just basic black horizontal tread, so it's nothing spectacular, but it looks sweet. But it looks pretty good. And then I'll lift up the cape. You can see the detail work continues. Like in the back, he has one big pouch like in the center of his lower back, and then it breaks off into like smaller pouches. But man, they just like really do great work on the sculpting. The cape is pretty cool. It's not super soft, but it's not really like super stiff, so it's right in the middle. The pliability is pretty good. But it really flows good with the character. That's the best part, is like it just drapes down and looks really good. Moving up, he has some crazy spikes like on the back of his neck, which are pretty interesting. And then, like I say, his head has pretty good articulation. He has like a neck, like a collar kind of around his neck, which is pretty dynamic. So awesome figure. I'm pretty happy with him. He's gonna go great up there on the shelf next to his White Knight brethren. I'll get his sword with the flame in his hand. Really happy with this guy. I'm glad to get him reviewed and get him up on the shelf so now I could get into the Merciless wave, which I've really been looking forward to. But this guy is no pushover. He's a pretty beast of a figure. Just look at him. Like I say, he will be going up there on the shelf in the White Knight section. So anyways, guys, hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Stay safe, keep collecting, and I'll see you on the next one.